Hello everyone and welcome to the Expansión Summit 2022. After 2 years of pandemic, many aspects of life changed and e-commerce was no exception, especially in our region. Based on a e-marketer report, the Latin America region once again stood out in 2021 and established itself as one of the main digital commerce in the world, growing more than 35% compared to 2020. That's why we are making this plan in which they participate Marcos Oliveira, Head of Latin Partnership Business Messaging in Meta, and Bárbara Gurjão, Commercial Director in Sinch, one of the enabling business partners at WhatsApp Business, and that will bring success stories from Mexico. And just to start, guys, welcome and thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation. Happy to be here.
Well, first of all, in this growing sector, we have the United States market, which has more online shoppers than the entire population of Brazil. So, Marcos, Bárbara, taking into account the similar consumption profile among Latin America region, which strategies applied in Brazil and the United States work in Mexico and which failed to be successful?
One important learning that we have seen is what we call the rise of business messaging, and it's happening across the globe, pretty much because this is natural. Conversation is the way we interact with our family and our friends. And we're seeing this also coming from the relationship with business and customers. And we have seen it growing across the globe, right? Currently, we're seeing more than 1 billion people messaging a business every week in our platforms. And when we look at the Latin America, mostly in Brazil and Mexico, where WhatsApp is a product where it has a big penetration. Mm-hmm. We have seen this consumer behavior being replicated to the messaging channels, right? So particularly in Mexico, we did some research and we realized that 65% of people prefer to communicate with companies through messages. And this is a high index when we compare it globally, inclusive with other more developed markets. And this is happening already. So when we look at the Mexicans, 66% of them messaging a business at least once a week. And this is the preferred channel for people to communicate with friends and family, and now turning it to business too. So when we interview Mexicans, they said that 68% are more likely to do business with a company that they can contact via messaging. So the idea of a messaging channel to communicate with business and consumers is translating into creating a strong sales channel for enterprise companies across Latin America.
Thanks for the invitation once again. As you know, Sinch is a tech company. We provide artificial intelligence to connect people and business, and we are Meta's partner. So what we've seen in Mexico in regards of this is that the Mexican public, they want to buy the WhatsApp. I've been in Mexico 2 weeks ago, and I've joined some meetings with some customers, and they are just like banks. They are just turning this completely upside down. They want to connect with their customers through WhatsApp. They want to send promotions to their customers through WhatsApp because they've seen that they are out of business if they are not in WhatsApp. So This is the huge statement that we should keep in mind in Mexico. We are having some requests from many of our customers, and I see that we're gonna develop more business through WhatsApp, through these mobile messaging channels, and not only online. People, they want to buy from their mobile.
Okay, and something that we love in Mexico is the relationship that is established in physical stores. You know, we love to go to the store and see everything. But how can we create value connections through WhatsApp, through technology? And the question is for both of you, guys.
So yeah, I can start. So the way we see, right, the success of channels like WhatsApp, for instance, in countries like Brazil and Mexico, is that we take advantage of this channel as being the preferred for communicating with friends and family, right, and translate it to a relationship with a business and a customer. So we understand that once the customer is talking to a business from the channel they are used to communicate with friends and family, this communication becomes more personal. Mm-hmm. And this is important for doing business, and more important in countries like Mexico and Brazil, where relationship is very important on whatever business you do. So the way we see it is like we are pretty much transferring the personal aspect that you have talking to a friend or mm-hmm. your family group to the relationship with companies. And this is very, very powerful. We see higher conversion rates, we see higher NPS scores when businesses are talking to their customers using messaging. So we believe that this personal aspect is very, very important for the success of the communication through business messaging channels.
It is definitely, Marcos. I have an example of one of our customers in Brazil, and we have a robot, and this robot is talking to people, right? So we have some people who sells products from a company, okay? And the bot is the one who connects this communication. Some people, they just start talking with this bot like it was a human. Mm-hmm. And at some point, we can see in our artificial intelligence that people are, oh, I don't know what to do in this case. Can you help me out? But the bot, they just have those responses. I mean, although it is intelligent to understand what the question is, he cannot just give some advice, right? So, and people are just talking to this bot like it was personal. It was a friend. It was the company responsible for its psychological health, including. So it's really amazing, but also important for us to understand how powerful this tool is to the companies in this connection. You mean, right, Marcos? This personal connection.
Okay, in the case of Mexico, Bárbara, many small and medium companies have opted for the sale of handmade products. How many challenges in terms of logistics exist within cross-border conversational commerce? What are the challenges for this kind of company that you've seen since Sinch?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the challenges when you have a small business and then you need to deliver your product in Mexico is a big country, is that you should connect with your customers fast. You should not keep them waiting, right? So you need to scale your communication. This is something very important for the companies, especially the small and large medium business, because not only for the small and large medium business, for the big business as well, because they have so many customers. But for all business in general, you should not be waiting for an answer, right? You should be immediately attended by a necessity that you have or a product that you want to deliver. And this communication is very important between companies and people, because we don't want to expect anymore for someone to call me back. I need an answer right now. And this is how the population is evolving, and our post-pandemic, I should say post-pandemic. So this is the main challenge that companies are facing. And those ones that have not opened their eyes for this, they will keep back from the other ones, right? Don't you agree, Marcos? You have so many studies about that, right?
Yeah, I agree completely with you, Bárbara. I think we have to take into consideration that customer expectations change over time, right? And pandemic, let's say, it's a boost of steroids into customer expectation and conversation through business messages. So if we look a few years ago where you had to contact a company and sending an email, you have your like internal SLA that you can wait 24 hours for a company to reply you on an email, right? So when you're doing a contact center call, you have your personal SLA. You can wait, I don't know, probably minutes to have this, your call solved. When you're messaging, you want to reply faster, right? And you know it by when you talk to your friends and family, when you send something, you're anxious to get a reply. So the channel, different channels demand different expectation from customers. And we are talking with business messaging, this expectation is short, but with a mix of automation and artificial intelligence, you can do it. If you're a company, you can do it, right, in a very cost-efficient way without having to, let's say, use too many human resources to do that. You can start a conversation with a bot, with an automated process. And these results also provides an increase on NPS on average when customers use business messaging channels than conventional channels.
We all love make things in our home, right? And in 2021, Marco, the historical record for online traffic and sales generated through mobile devices in the world was reached. These trends shows no signs of reversing. So, Marco, is it necessary to have a special website or e-commerce, or is c-commerce enough?
Well, the way we see it now as a company, we see the conversational experience providing less friction in the entire customer channel, right? Definitely, we have to, I believe companies have to be present where the customers want to reach out to them, right? So I don't see channels killing each other, but we see a huge growth of messaging channels as the new conversational commerce standard, because you don't have to change customer behavior, right? It's just they are purchasing things just the way they communicate. And when we look at apps or when we look at websites, we see higher friction on the process. The key factor of the rise of business messaging as a conversational commerce or a sales channel is to provide a natural experience with less friction in the entire journey. So it's easy to see when you're purchasing something from an app, you have to download an app, you have to log in, you have to browse it, you have to fill, I don't know, several forms there. When you're doing it through a WhatsApp channel, it's one click or a QR code scan, you're in a conversation.
Okay, and what do you think, Bárbara? You can talk about one of your successful cases for us.
We have a case in Mexico. Salud Digna is one of our customers. And to reduce the waiting line from their customers, they used WhatsApp and artificial intelligence. They are using this right now. So they reduced this attention time to the customers, right? Because we can just connect with the company. We can just set up a medical appointment through WhatsApp. And before, they need to go to forms, they need to write down their names, they need to stay in line. And this is reducing a lot. This time spent to have a medical appointment is reducing like 7 minutes. And before it was like 7 hours to wait for this. Okay. And during pandemic period, it saved lives. So for me, it's the best case that we have in terms of automation and communication.
And if you allow me, Bárbara, I would like to share one case in Brazil, more oriented towards the sales process. So McDonald's use WhatsApp to drive traffic to the store. So a pretty good combination with a digital and a physical channel, right? So they have distributed over WhatsApp 150,000 coupons, right, to be redeemed at stores. And they have seen a 17% conversion rate on that. So they established relationship with almost 2 million customers in the platform. So now they are evolving this WhatsApp channel to be their core channel of relationship with their customers, which is pretty interesting, and a good example of a combination of starting with the digital and closing in a physical environment.
Okay, and now that we're talking about this relation between digital and physical channels, according to a survey conducted in 2021 by Social Miner, 76% of consumers already use social networks to search for the items they want to buy. With Instagram being the most visited network with 62%, how to make WhatsApp the most searched network to buy? How to complement them?
Yeah, I can jump in a little bit, right? So we understand that, and what we call discovery commerce, right? How to make easier for companies, for their customers to find them online. And this is already happening at scale, right? So whenever you're intending to purchase something, you want to be able to share and to talk to business before it. So what we have seen is with entry points, with ads that click to Messenger, to WhatsApp or Instagram Direct, they make it easier for people to start a conversation with business. And it's easier to make a decision from the perspective of the customer. So when we look at Instagram, for instance, 90% of people in Instagram, they follow at least one business, right? So it's a super powerful way of connecting to customer. We see hundreds of millions of people starting this conversation every month, either by direct messaging brands or interacting with stores, commenting on live streams or more, right? And we've seen companies across Latin America that majority of, or a big chunk of the revenue are currently processed through Instagram or WhatsApp channels with a lower reduction, with a lower cost of lead, right? So we have a very interesting case here of National Bank of Australia that they have invested in ads to click to Messenger, right? To connect their customers to their experts or their agents. And they have seen an 83% decrease in the cost per inquiry online, right? And a 6 times increase on lead. So the easier you make it for the customers to find you, using entry points like click to ads, like short links, like QR codes for start a conversation, the better the results. So it's happening everywhere.
Yeah. Can I comment on this as well, Marcos? Not only those channels, we should be where the customer is, as Marcos said, but also we should be where the customer is. So if you have a conversational platform where you can just keep the conversations in and you don't need to repeat this, so your customer experience is really higher than ever. Because you know that where I am, I know that this company is talking to me, right? No matter which channel. So this is very important. And some companies, they are not doing this yet. But this customer experience is very powerful. And for sure, it will increase a lot sales and connections with customers and companies. And it's very, very, very powerful.
Okay, guys. Among the tools on trend we have for conversational commerce and the many applications that we have, which one to choose in Mexico for the companies and the business, and why that is the best option for them?
Okay, I'll start here. So the way we see it, so as we mentioned before, we believe that businesses have to be where the customer is, right? And customer is responsible to choose. Definitely, when we look at countries like Mexico and also Brazil, where we have a higher penetration of WhatsApp, this is where the customers are, right? And we are making it better for commerce experience over time. So now you can browse catalogs on WhatsApp. You can provide lead qualification through that. Mm-hmm. You can provide quotes or customer information or order tracking processes. So the way we see on WhatsApp, we are building a product to reach any kind of audience in the conversational space. So we know that WhatsApp is super democratic. You don't have to have a high-end mobile phone to have it. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be, let's say, all the bars full of your network, in your mobile to have a good experience on WhatsApp. So where we combine this democratic aspect of the product with an enhancement on the commerce capabilities like catalogs, discovery that we are introducing later next year, we want to provide a better experience from end to end on a journey commerce for businesses and consumers.
Yeah, definitely, Marcos. And I would comment on this, that most of our customers who are that are in the commerce business, right? They really need the buttons. The buttons are really important for them to convert sales. And also these list messages. I mean, when you open a catalog and then you can see like 20, 30 products, and it's easy for the customer to select this. This usability is very important to complete the sales, right? Yes. So it's I've seen this in most of our customers. They are keen to have those buttons, those list messages to convert more their sales. So it's very important. It's very trendy, and it's happening. In fact.
Taking into account that consumption without physical contact has been growing since the start of the pandemic, but deep down the consumer feels a lack of social interaction during this purchase process. What advice would you give users to sell more without having to invest a fortune? What is your main advice for the business?
When we look at the trends, right, that we are seeing, and it was pretty much accelerated after the pandemic, it's what we call the phygital experience, which is a combined experience, right, from the digital and the physical channel. So when we look at some interesting and recent research we have done to understand the customer behavior of purchasing in seasonal dates like the soccer world championship that is going to happen later this year, we've seen that the intention to acquire online or at stores, the mix has changed completely. So 69% of the people we interviewed is planning to do a purchase in an online channel compared to 62 in a physical store. So we are seeing this shift. But my key piece of advice here is that currently, for you to start, put your business into a conversational channel. This is not a project that will require 3-digit, 4-digit CAPEX or big investments. You can start it pretty simple, right? With a short period of time, understand, test it, get to know the customer reaction, and then expand. So I want to just to remove the myth that having your own conversational commerce channel or your conversational channel is something just for the big enterprises. It may be in the past, but now it's purely accessible, right? You can do it in weeks, depending on the complexity, of course, but you can do it pretty straightforward way and then expand according to. So my piece of advice is start. Right? It's not complicated. It's not super expensive. And if you plan properly, you'll get the results pretty fast.
Okay.
Absolutely, Marcos. I would say the same thing. I mean, when you have a big company or a small company, you just need to start small. Start with some projects really small, concentrated in some customers, maybe segment your target audience, and then you're going to see the results. With these results, you can see that there is no turning back, right? You should be there. You should automate conversations, and your customers will be more happy, right? Happier, and you're going to be with your business more successful. So just starting small, but start.
Thank you guys, Marcos, Bárbara, thank you for your contribution. Unfortunately, we have reached the end of this presentation, but for the people who are watching us, we have prepared so much more information for this Expansión Summit 2022.